Welcome back to our Sunday interview session where I get a chance to talk to some awesome, influential people and have a blast doing it. I'm joined tonight by Randy Lee from Tennessee, the co-founder of Pops for Patients, a cause that's near and dear to my heart, something I've been fortunate enough to be a part of for the last couple of years, and something that's been really fun to watch from afar. So I'm joined by Randy, a very funny guy with a very awesome hat right there. And Randy, tell us about yourself, my man.
I'm a guy. I'm a regular, real guy. I don't know.
I'm a
I'm
real
a
boy.
goober. Yeah, basically. I'm a goober who likes to do good and cool things. I don't know. Just I think laughter is the most important thing in the entire world, and giving joy, giving's a really big part of life. I think a lot of people, get so caught up in their own world they don't remember to give.
Without a doubt. And not only is your giving game strong, but your meme game is strong too.
Yeah. I actually run a meme page. So
That's the Knoxville one, right?
Yeah. It's called Knox Meme Team. Hi.
The child is awoken.
Hi. I'm the cool meme guy.
And you're the kid going to bed now. All right. Good night.
All right. Good night. I'm going to go to bed too. See ya.
So, Pops for Patients. I know it's got a huge following on social media, but I feel like a lot of people follow because they're like, oh, cool, my friend's doing this. But what is Pops for Patients? How'd you get started? What is it all about?
Well, it got started back in 2016. A friend of mine was the manager at Hot Topic here at the local mall that actually got shut down. She transferred to another store. But at the time, I think, it was August of 2016. We've actually been donating to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital in Nashville for about 6 months that year. Like we've just been doing it privately, just me and her. We both have severely handicapped special needs kids, and that's how we bonded. We bonded over that, and we just, became friends over that and Pops and stuff like that. And after a while, after donating there for a while, I think we donated, over 100 at one point. And then the hospital kind of asked us if we were, anything, like if we were just something beyond just two people. And, we just kind of figured, okay, well, maybe we got something here. Let's start something. And, I had some suggestions from some people about, going forward with this. And when we first came up with it, it was actually going to be called Pops for Kids. And I don't remember what happened. It's been so long. It's been almost 5 years now. So I don't remember every little detail, but I just remember we switched to Pops for Patients. It sounded better, rolled off the tongue a little bit better. And it just kind of went from there. It's just one of those things where, I was very active in the collecting community at the time. And I just started telling people, hey, if you want donations to get to sick kids, I can give them to them, or, if you want to send them here, and then it just became one of those things where I was like, wow, the potential here is so big. I think it'd be better if everybody just did it in their own area, instead of sending everything to me, because I'm only one person. And I'm also stuck at home a lot of the time. So it's really hard for me to do more than I already do. So it just became one of those things. And, like I said, we're fortunate to have started this as a cause, just an idea, just something cool to do, like the ALS, what was it, the ALS or ASL ice bucket challenge thing.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of like that in a sense, where we just kind of thought, okay, we have something that anybody can do, it's really simple. Get a pop, bring it to the hospital if your hospital allows it, or send it here and we can get it to kids too. And it just exploded. It took here we are 5 years, almost 5 years in, it'll be 5 years this August. And, we've got people all across the world basically doing it, including you. Look at that hat. And it's just one of those things. I haven't updated the total lately because, the pandemic and stuff has just been a nightmare lately. And for a lot of people, there's so many of us that are holding on to so many donations right now because the hospitals just ain't taking them yet.
Yep.
So I'm going to guess right now, we're at least, I think we're either at or a little bit above like 40,000, which is good. You got to think, like, we're not a charity, we're not a 501c. So that's all just pure giving. That's love. That's real giving, nobody's out there looking for tax write-offs and stuff like that. It's just giving from the heart for the right reason without getting anything back.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it started off where we weren't getting anything back at all, including, hearing anything from the kids. Like, it was just one of those things. It was selfless giving. And, when people reach out to join up, I always like to mention that, like, this might take a while for you to get the opportunities to see the kids. You might just have to be happy with just delivering them, and that's the end of it. It took us a few years to be able to do tours in the hospital and see the kids ourselves. And, I know you do a whole bunch of different events. I mean, you do more than just hospitals, and, you get a lot of good feedback. I mean, I've seen, you're one of the subgroups, like as part of the overall group. And, I mean, just you're an impressive guy, man. You've done a lot of good stuff there.
Well, what's interesting? It's it all started because collecting pops is such a fickle thing. It's like you got to have it now, and then like, why do I have a set of 20 different versions of
Of course,
character?
yeah, right.
And so I remember we started a group called the Funko Lounge, 3 years ago, I believe, maybe longer, because we're all pop collectors in the area, and there was a lot of toxicity and stuff. So we're like, let's start our own, just cool collectors, that kind of stuff. And I remember talking to my buddy Tim Carter, who was following Pops for Patients, and I was like, listen, do you know any way we can give back? Like, donate these things, like, because we're all selling them to each other for $3 a pop. Like, what good is that? Let's give them. Let's
Exactly. Right.
So he told me about you, and so we reached out, and all of a sudden, just boom, it transformed. Like, hey, we're collecting pops, and next thing you know, like our first month, we had like 300 donations, and I'm like, what is even happening right now?
Right.
And we were fortunate enough in our first year to be able to work with the Cure Cancer.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Picnic and hand them out in person and stuff, and that was the probably most exhilarating, greatest experience of my life, honestly. Because it was their families, it was the kids, and it was all 100% donation driven. So every person that was working it was a volunteer. Everything was donated by local businesses. It was awesome. And so I started to look into, because that was still early on for us. So I started to look into everything you were doing and seeing all the hospitals and the pickups. And you, my friend, are an impressive guy. And to see that it stemmed from you, and I interact with people from Chicago, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
How many states is this in right now?
I don't know. I mean, you got to understand, like, this is not a company, it's not even an organization. I mean, people call it whatever they call it. And I just go, okay, yeah. Cause I mean, the first year I was just like constantly saying the same stuff over and over and trying to explain stuff. And, there's a lot of things about this that are kind of odd, like I know a lot of people are wondering, like, why P4P, not, Pops for Patients this. And I'm like, because Funko's made these weird rules. And, I've talked to them multiple times, and we've tried to come to different, agreements about things. And it just seemed like it was best to leave it the way it was and follow whatever little rules they gave us, because they've, it's just the way it is. And like I said, I'm proud of it the way it is, because I'd rather have 40,000 real donations that are people are actually giving, as opposed to just getting a big giant donation from Walmart that doesn't care, like it's, and I know that's silly, because, a lot of people, they do the counter argument, like, well, wouldn't it be nice to have a lot more to give to kids? Of course it would. But I mean, it's one or the other. It's like either, we can go that route and give this all up to Funko, which is something that they originally were kind of, talking about. And I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like I said, I like the purity of it. I like the realness of it. And, there's been other people out there that didn't agree or like where it's at, and they've tried to split off and do their own thing, and they've been shut down. Like there's a guy in Oklahoma that, he wanted this to be a charity. And I've actually, it doesn't mean it's never going to happen, but it may not happen the way that people think it will. It's not going to happen with the word pop, because, it's Funko's thing. But then, like I said, I'm just not really focused on that, because I like just like this past week, we got a donation mailed in. It was just one pop.
Yeah.
That means something. Like, I don't have to have 500 every time someone sends something. Someone took the time out of their day to pick one thing that they really cared about, and they wanted to send that, to give that to a kid. That's special. Like, that means something. I'm very like weird like that. I don't know how that comes across, but
No, I mean, honestly, it's interesting, because I've had people who like want to help me, like, hey, can I just cut you a check? And I'm like, no, that's not really how we do this. It's
but I mean, you could take the check and buy pops. But I mean, I'm talking like corporations. Like, we're not looking to get into like, hey, GameStop,
oh yeah,
give us 5,000 pops, like, it sounds silly, like I said, but our numbers aren't inflated. That's another cool thing. Like our numbers are pretty close. Like I keep track of all that the best I can. You know that I've asked you many times what numbers are. You
Oh,
guys
yeah.
have. I don't know. Me personally, stupid as it may sound to some people, I take more pride in the 40,000 than I would 400,000, because if it was 400,000, it would probably be a different way. You know, it wouldn't be a real way. It would be just people dumping stuff off, which some people do, and that's cool too. But you know what I mean? Like,
Do you want to know
I
one
just
of the
think, I think there's heart in this.
There
You
actually is,
know?
and
Yeah.
to prove that point, the most mind-boggling, coolest thing happened just about 2 months ago. I was approached by Rogue Toys, and they're like, "Hey, we got all this stuff. Can we
Oh
go in?"
yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate that." Next thing you know, they overnighted an entire bin of pops. I'm talking the giant rubber bin,
Right.
overnighted it to me, and it was just packed full of goodness. And I'm just like,
Right.
this place in Las Vegas thought to
Well,
do this for us.
yeah. So Steve Johnson is the owner of Rogue Toys. He has multiple stores. All of them are Pops for Patients donation drop-offs. And I think Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, and there's a third one. I'm not drawing a blank right now. But yeah, he reached out and he said, "Hey, do you have anybody in the New York area that could accept these?" I guess wherever they sent them from was, they were either going to be sent to them or to you, and you were closer or something like that. I can't remember the full story, but it's just cool. Like there's just so many people out there, and there's been times where we all helped each other in some ways, and it's kind of neat.
Oh yeah, Mel over in Rhode Island, she's always doing stuff. And I know she's got
Oh
a
yeah.
small team, so we always try to help there. But I mean, it's
Mhm.
branched out so much here, where we have Rhinos Comics is our official donation spot, because I don't
Right.
have room in my garage. But then Vision Nissan, who we partnered with for some events, they actually store it all for us now. So it's all these local companies, like just the kindness of their heart. Like, yeah, people can drop off here and overload me. Yeah, you can store your stuff here, even though we don't have room for you. Like it's just absolutely amazing to see a community come together around this. And
Right.
completely different walks of life, all different opinions, everything else. When it comes down to it, it's all about helping the kids, and that's just such
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Yeah. No. And like I said, it started off with just a couple. Like I think it started with San Diego and Colorado. Like there were first two, areas that jumped in, and Katie and Leanna, and
Oh yeah,
it's just one of those things where it's like, that's what proved what this was, because these people, they hustled. They did a whole lot of cool stuff, and they still do cool stuff, and everybody else came on board, and it's gotten to the point where I'm not overwhelmed. Like I'm enjoying it, and I'm able to keep track of it all. And like I said, it's real simple. It's really hard to screw this up, like it really is. Like, I mean, it's the simplest concept. I don't know how anybody, struggles. It seems like there's people that try to come aboard and just make it into what it ain't. And that's where it gets a little messy sometimes, but
yeah.
you're
always going to have that.
We know.
It's always interesting to me when, I work with the different organizations. They're like, all right, what can I get, for the tax write-off stuff? Like, no, just take the stuff, please. And they're always so perplexed, but at the same time, they reach out to us time and time again, like, hey, are you interested again? Because they don't have to jump through the loopholes. It's all,
Right.
We don't want anything from it. They're like,
Mhm.
oh, we have the news there. I'm like, we don't want it. Just take these things, it's, but I will say the one time we got on the news for one event, we started getting stuff from all over the country. People were sending stuff, and it was so cool
Right.
to
Right.
have that happen, because it was unsolicited. It was more,
Mhm.
I was getting messages on like Facebook and Twitter, like, what's your
Mhm.
address? I want to send some stuff. I'm like, awesome. So
Right,
that's
right.
pretty cool, but it's been nice to keep the money out of things and to really just focus on
Yeah, I mean, there are people out there that say, hey, I don't have any pops, but can I do this or this? And we do
Oh, yeah.
we do have an Amazon wish list on there that supports the Colorado team, and it's just one of those things. I mean, kind of play it by ear. I mean, most of the time it's donations as opposed to money, and we do a silent auction online we try to do it every year, but last year we didn't, obviously. COVID. I mean, it ruined everything. I mean, we haven't been able to go to shows or get any. It's just been one of those things. We don't have any autograph. We only have a little bit of stuff, so there's really no point in running a full auction with like 10 items. I want to have a big. So anyway, we'll probably do it again this year. I think I have a lot more, but yeah, I mean, when we get that, it's directly through our local store here. They do it all for us, and transform the money into pops and at cost. So, I mean, we've got a really nice little situation there when it comes to the money. If people want to donate money, it's good to try to win something with it,
That's actually so Rhino's here in Rochester. What our guy does, Chet, he does some different auction stuff through his store, and then some of those proceeds he just puts towards pops from the store and gives them to us.
Right.
Like that, I mean,
That's awesome. Yeah,
we
that's
don't
what
even
I'm
have to
saying.
do
You
any
got a really
work, you know.
nice,
It's just
yeah.
they end up for the kids. Like
Mhm.
it's
Yeah, it benefits everybody involved, and the
Yeah.
kids are the ones who win at the end. I mean, that's really the main goal. And
and we've been fortunate enough with our connections. Now we moved into like comic books and coloring books and all that stuff too. And man, the smiles we did. It was like a drive-through Christmas sort of thing.
yeah,
With Cure, but we didn't really see them. They were in their cars and they were driving through random stuff. But I heard like kids say, "Oh, comic books," and I'm like, "Yes, that's awesome." You know, it's like we paired comics with pops and stuff like that.
right.
So it's been really fun to expand out, and it's been cool to see like there's every age range has been participating. I imagine you see that as well. Just
Oh yeah.
I follow you all over social media, not in a freaky way, but just in a
Oh yeah, because of my main game that we were talking about with yeah,
just in an
Me and-
awe-inspiring way, man. You are an amazing individual.
my legendary interactions with Mimi. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I remember before COVID, man, just the hospital drop-offs, seeing all the pictures and just
Yeah.
seeing what you share from all over the country, things that people are doing, man. You kicked all that off. That's absolutely
Very fortunate that it just happened the way it did. I mean, it wasn't one of the big things that really changed it a lot too was my friend, he's a former WWE superstar. His name is Samoa Joe, and he was on E3, which is like the big video game conference. He did like a live interview on there, and me and him had been talking. He's actually, he's part of it, and he's helped out a lot behind the scenes. People don't even know. So he was telling me, get a website, and I was like, well, I don't really have money, but I don't really. This doesn't really bring in money, so like everything we do is out of our own pockets, and I just didn't have, I'm not a very rich person, so. Anyway, so he goes on E3, and I wasn't watching because he's my friend. I don't need to watch. I know enough about him. I don't need to hear everything he says. But so anyway, I started getting texts and phone calls from people like, "Dude, Joe just talked about Pops for Patients on E3." I was like, "Okay, well that's cool." And then next thing you know, when I looked at the interview, I was like, "What the hell?" He no. He literally he knew what he was doing. He goes on there. He's like, "Yeah, check out popsforpatients.org." And I was like, "What? We don't even have that. I don't have that. I never have that. I don't have that website made."
Wow.
So like I had to call him when the interview was over. I was like, "What did you do?" He's like, "Just make it." He said, "I'll cover it. Just make it." I was like, "Okay." And I just like the website made it like within a few hours after he said that because everybody's looking for it. And I'm like, "Why'd you do that?" He goes, "I just knew that'd be the right thing to do. I had a good platform." And
that's how I found it.
All right. Yeah. Oh, really? The website?
That's Tim goes, yeah, look over here, and that's how we got in touch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's like I said, I was just so content with social media. I mean, I don't know. I was just really active. I'm very active or I was when things were rolling a lot more on social media with all the Pops for Patients pages. And, one of our friends would go around and do like interviews at shows like Comic-Cons with celebrities and like get them, actually a few of our friends would do that. If they ever met like any famous people, they'd have them do like a little promo for us. And, so our YouTube channel has a lot of cool little, endorsements, I guess you can say, from cool people. But yeah, we've had a whole bunch of celebrity support over the years. And, there's been several celebrities that have reached out to me actually first. And, they told us that they heard about it through the grapevine, whatever that means. And, they would send us items for our auctions or, we've had celebrities actually donate. Like one of the first experiences I had with that was at a show with Jason David Frank. He was the green. Yeah, I'm sure you know who he is, but one of the Power Rangers. And so he actually comes over before the show starts because I'm always early and I'm just chilling before the show's open. And we talk a little bit, and he actually came back over, I think maybe a few minutes later. He comes back over and he just delivers like a whole bunch of green and white Power Rangers. And I think pink, because I think Kimberly gave some too. But anyway, the point is, like, I was like, wow, this is really, really cool. Thank you. And he's like, yeah, come over to my area. We'll do a little video and he'll sign something and blah, blah, blah. So like, that was just one of the, first experiences of like celebrities that got into it, as opposed to just being talked to face, like instead of me pushing it on them, he actually was interested before I even got a chance to say anything to him.
That's how it should be. That's just
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, because it's easy. Like that's the thing. Most of these celebrities and shows have pops. That's pretty much mostly what they sign these days. So the fact that there's only one Funko related charitable cause out there, it's really easy to know who we are without a bunch of, like, oh, there's only one.
Yeah.
There, like I said, there's been other people try to, imitate and try to pop up, and they get shut down, because they go about it the wrong way. And I'd never be dismissive, of anybody that would try to do it, but some people just be like spiteful about it though, instead of just, how it is. You know how people are. We've had a lot of weird, we've had a lot of things happen over the past few years that we don't need to talk about, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes, people are people at the end of the day sometimes.
Yeah. But the good ones stick around. The good ones do.
Yeah.
The bad ones weed themselves out.
Yeah, it's God, I can't say enough about this whole cause, just the smiles on the kids. And
well, you're part of it. Yeah. So I mean, like when you say you're a compliment or say anything nice to me, like this bounces back on you too. You're the one doing it. All I did was just tell you what I do and sort of support it the best I can. I mean, this is not, something I did for you. Like you did it on your own.
Well, it's interesting because around here, like we feel privileged to be a part of it, because like when you look at the name, that kind of stuff, like it's not to be taken lightly, and just the way that it's run is so different from every other stuff. I've done a lot of charity in the past, but never the stuff where it's like all out of the kindness of everybody's heart and not looking for anything else. It's not like people give me donations. They're like, well, hey, I didn't see where it went. They know where it's going. They know what the intention is.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, that's what shocks me is the fact that I hear people say the same things that you're saying to me right now all year long, and I'm just like, it always shocks me. I'm like, why is everybody? It sucks that everybody's fixated on that like pattern that's out there. Yeah, well, and we all get it though. Like when we do good things, people are proud of us and they're happy for us. But I did an interview the other day for a local newspaper, and the lady asked me, her name was Amelia too, haha. So she asked me this question. I've never been asked this before. It's weird. I've been asked a million questions. I've never been asked this question. And she asked me like, how do I feel when I go into a room and, see a kid? Like, and that sounds like a question I should have been asked before, right?
Yeah.
I haven't been. And I was kind of like, well, I don't really think much about myself in those moments because it's not about me. Like,
right.
I don't know what kind of answer you want here, but it's not going to be very satisfying because when I go in there, I'm just kind of like, I want them to be happy. I want them to be comfortable. It's not, they don't know me. They don't care about me. So if I bring a cosplayer or a celebrity, or if I bring anybody in there with me that they latch onto, I don't jump in the middle and be like, I started this, I'm the reason you get that. Like, I don't care, like, and anybody that acts that way shouldn't be there to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I see a lot of the charities, we've been at functions where there's other people involved and stuff, and I see them all taking the pictures of the kids and all that stuff, and it's
well, I mean, that stuff's good though. I'm not actually,
it's all well and good, but it's they're like grabbing kids and like, hey, can we
the exploitation type thing. Like, well, anytime we have pictures in the hospital setting, it's usually the parents who are just like,
and yes,
we really want to memorialize this. It's like, well, we could post it on our pages if you want. Yeah, we're so happy. And the only thing is, if anybody ever sees this that's going to interact with me, don't give me your phone. Like I'm just saying, like, don't let me take a picture. Cause like at the hospital, that they asked me to hold their phone and take pictures with the cosplay people I bring with me. And if I have your phone, I'm going to take a selfie before I take any pictures of you. So trust me, like I get tons of messages after I get home, especially like when they discover it, they're like, ooh, I had a great day today. And they're scrolling through their phone. They see me and I'm like, yeah, and I just love it. And that's my favorite part. I just, like I said, just trying to have fun, be a goober,
awesome, I love it. I love every ounce of it, my man. Well, I appreciate your time and I love this journey. And I like to end every segment promoting a local business. And I know you have one that's absolutely dear to your heart. But I also know that you're a man of pizza, and so I want you to give two shout outs. One to your place and one to your local business.
Thanks for springing it on me so I don't have time to figure out.
I thought that'd be a fun one.
It is, but I'm just like,
your food reviews are great.
They are?
I enjoy
it. All right, that's interesting. I thought they were pretty boring. It's usually me bitching about something.
I know, and that's why I find them interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't, yeah, I don't like the way people do their job sometimes. I mean, I used to work in a restaurant and I was pretty professional all the time. But okay, so I mean, local business shout out is always going to be Tall Man Toys and Comics. That's it's actually the largest Funko distributor, dealer, store in the Southeast. And what's cool about that is, like, not only do they help us out all year long, they host our auctions. Anytime we get any inappropriate pops that can't go to the hospital, they'll switch them out for us. It's just like a good drop off point. And Mike Herman, he's the owner, and he's super in this. He's on the team. He's part of it. And yeah, I mean, I'm very grateful for Tall Man Toys. So I would say Tall Man Toys, like, this article I was mentioning earlier that we have coming out it's going to be about how Knoxville is kind of a mecca for Funko, if you look at it. Because I mean, like I said, he's one of the biggest in the whole world, as far as distribution. He's got over, I can't remember what the number was, but he's got a lot, like he's over 10,000 pops or something on the shelves. And we also have the world record holder here in Knoxville now of Funkos, or Funko Pops, 7,095. And then we have Pops for Patients, which started here. So we have these three really cool things in Knoxville. So Funko better give us some credit here soon.
But
hey,
what's this newspaper you're speaking of?
Oh, it's called Blank Newspaper. It's a local newspaper. They auction it off to other places that are, have more reach. And I just had a really good interview the other day, and I'll share it whenever it comes out. I'll share it to my page and probably the Pops for Patients page. But I don't know. I'm still thinking about this pizza question. I'm like, man, there's so many. I mean, the best one here that I love is called Elidio's Pizza, and it's kind of a New Jersey style pizza. I'm not really big into like a bunch of sauce. Like too much sauce. I'm just like, I think that's one of the reasons why I'm having stomach problems. I think I destroyed my inner lining in my stomach eating so much pizza sauce. But yeah, I would say Elidio's Pizza, which anybody that hears this will probably be like, yep, that was the big one here in our local mall when it was open back in its heyday, when malls were still cool and they were still here. Unfortunately, ours is gone, and I don't know what's the state of malls in your area. Are they still around?
Some are becoming outlet malls. Some are just abandoned buildings. It's all over the place, to be honest. It's really interesting to see what goes, and it's really sad to watch. But this was before COVID even. It's just online shopping has kind of killed a lot of stuff. But the interesting thing in my area is mom and pop shops. They thrive, and so that's really cool.
Yeah.
Selling like toys, pops, clothing, all that stuff. So that's really cool to see too. But it's an interesting blend, and the mall game is quite low here.
I know our local mall that we loved here, the one where Pops for Patients, the concept basically was created. It's gone now. It got leveled, and it's being replaced with an Amazon shipping center or something, which is it's going to bring a lot more jobs because that mall was kind of going downhill. There's some
it's just
weird stuff going on there, but
these retail spots being replaced by the very business that crushed them to begin with. That's just full circle.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing about it is, like, it's sad. I'm very nostalgic. I'm a nostalgic person. Like, I'm very sentimental. That's the word I was looking for earlier, actually. Very sentimental. Like, I think moments are magic. I think magic's a really important thing in life too. People don't believe in it anymore. And everybody looks, no matter how good you are, like, people always look and they wonder. That's why I try to be transparent. That's why I just be myself. And I don't want people to, wonder, like, okay, this is a cool, this guy does all these things with kids. Wonder how he really is. I show it. Like, I know my memes are they're dank. They're awesome. So, and if people are offended by them, scroll on. Like, I don't, scroll on, move on. I'm still here. I'm doing stuff,
And you're doing a lot of stuff, and it's absolutely amazing to watch. And I truly appreciate your time today.
No problem, man. My pleasure.
I look forward to seeing where all this goes, and thank you again, and just keep on being you, man.
Thank you.